Okay, good morning. This is Solutions of the South. This is a project that I've got known. My daughter has a golf cart, and the family likes to go in for a ride sometimes late in the afternoon, especially in the spring and the fall of the year. And my wife always rides in the back and likes to carry a drink with her, but there are no cup holders in the back. We got cup holders in the front that are very accessible and very handy. They work great. This is what the back looks like. Of course, we got seat belts and a grab-it bar and these two bars on the side here. So what I'm going to do is use this 4-inch pipe here to make some cup holders with. I've already measured the depth of the standard cup holder and found it to be approximately 2.5 inches, which I think will be just fine for Yetis of different sizes and other cups. It'll have an open bottom, but I don't think that open bottom's a big deal as long as you got a concave design cup that'll drop down in there. Okay, for projects like this, I certainly like to use my miter saw so that I can get a good, straight, even cut. I've already set it to 2.5 inches. We're going to see what happens. Done. It's cut. I believe that it'll be just right. Need a little bit of smoothing on the inside maybe, but not as much as I thought it would. The next thing I'm going to do is clean this thing up a little bit, and then the plan is to drill a couple of larger holes in this side of it, and then come to the opposite side and put just a couple of small holes. That way I'll be able to take a drill and drill a larger screw, be able to get the drill bit and the driver all the way through the larger holes into the back to mount it. Okay, I've just discovered that my cheap Harbor Freight drill press here, which is something I bought only for occasional use, isn't going to be able to use the table out there and then still have clearance for this 1/2-inch drill bit. So I'm going to rotate the table around. Now, I built these things for drilling straight into the drill press, using the drill press for drilling straight holes for a round object. So I'll put this thing down here, and I'm going to go approximately 3/4 of an inch to an inch from the top. Turn the drill press on, of course, and come in with my 1/2-inch hole. Work beautiful. And we're going to take the hole and clean it out just a little bit. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to rotate it around, do the same thing, approximately 3/4 of an inch below the first hole. Have you ever seen that happen? There we go. I got my 2 holes in this one. It ought to be about ready to go. Now I'm going to come back in and I'll use a longer drill bit to put a couple small holes back here. Well, I don't guess I should be surprised. Of course, I can't get my small drill bit down in through that hole long enough to be able to drill this out. And my extension also won't go into that hole. I really don't want anything bigger than a 1/2-inch hole in here anyhow. So what I'll do is I'll just use my self-tapping screw when it goes through here just to self-tap on through the PVC as well. The next thing I'm going to do is take this old chainsaw file I have and smooth these holes out just a little bit. They got just a few little burrs on them. It's not a big deal, but I might as well make it look as pretty as I can. because I'll eventually prep it for painting and everything. Then I'll take my larger file and smooth out the inside some. Okay, I got my nut driver, I got my cup holder, and I have a 3/4 inch self-tapping screw. Let's see what happens. Of course, I've got to drop the screw. I'm going to put it back here in this nut driver. I'll take it with this here. And it dropped. There it is again. After dropping the second time and third, might have to come up with a better way of holding this thing rigid. Just don't know. I know what I'm going to do. I am going to. Got another trick. The trick involves taking a trusty Sharpie and going into the holding thing straight up and down, going down into the hole and marking my spot. Directly opposite the original holes, because we don't want the thing mounted sideways in any way. Put the Sharpie back in my pocket before I lose it. Then I will hold this thing down on here. Screw it in. Just maybe. Maybe if I magnetized the end. Use my magnetic bowl here, magnetize the end of my nut driver a little bit, rubbing it on that magnet. Okay, it started. That worked. Magnetizing the end of the nut driver on the magnetic bowl is a trick. Now I'm going to start the other one as well. And all I'm doing is starting these things in the PVC just a little bit. That's all I'm going to do. They're stuck in the PVC now, and I can come over here. There actually is already one hole here. I'm going to use it. That looks pretty good. Okay, the first cup I'm going to try it with is my big 40-ounce Yeti. It's got ice and water all the way to the top. It seems to be fitting in here just fine. I think it'll be good and secure. I believe it'll be fine. Those screw heads are a little bit big, actually. Or the collar's a little bit small one. Let's see how the concave disposable Starbucks cup goes in there. Oh, that fits like a glove there. That one. Don't know about putting big Yetis in it. may not be a good idea, but these smaller Starbucks ones will go in there just fine. Okay, now I got a 20-ounce Yeti tumbler. Let's see how well it goes in there. About the same thing as a 40-ounce on the base. Must not be much difference in the size, but it feels plenty secure. Of course, that screw is probably going to eventually scratch the outside a little bit. All right, this is a name brand, non-name brand Yeti. Got some pretty designs on it. Let's see if or it's not a Yeti actually. Same thing, it hits that screw head in there. I may have to figure out something on that. Okay, so I gotta solve the problem of the Yeti not going down in there deep enough to be good and secure. And one potential solution I see is to make this thing taller and the screws low in it. That way the Yeti will be able to fit all the way down in it. So what I did is I got my full section of pipe left. I'm gonna put the Yeti down in there about as far as it'll go. I'm gonna take my Sharpie and put a little mark on it. And then we'll pull it out and see how long that needs to be. That shouldn't be too hard to tell. I'll set it down here, get my trusty tape measure. Looks to me like it's going to need to be extended about 2 1/2 inches taller than to the top of the screw. So I need to go this hole right here to the top of the pipe collar. Needs to be 2 1/2 inches below the top of the pipe collar. Okay, I'm back. I have cut me a longer cup holder pipe. I've got 2 screws already started in close to the tip of it, where I will have my 2+ inches of clearance above the screws so the Yeti will go in there further. So let's affix these to it. Help if you get the battery in all the way. Okay, there's number 1. And there's number 2. All right, let's see how well the big Yeti fits. It now goes in there further. Although it's catching out here on the back from the concave portion of the Yeti, maybe a little too much, but I don't think that thing will fall out. Let's see how the gray one, the 20-ounce fits. Beautiful, beautiful. That one's good and secure. Let's see how the cup holder one, the travel cup, fits, and we'll see how the off-brand does. Ooh, it may go all the way through. Huh? It stops. It stops when it hits the bolt at the bottom down there. But it also scratches the side. Uh-oh. Well, maybe my wife will forgive me for that. Okay, I've got the second one built to match the first one, and I decided I might better check my Coke cans. There might be a time when somebody uses a Coke can. And this is actually a 1991 National League champ Atlanta Braves collector's can. I've had it 33 years. Matter of fact, all the Coke has fizzed out of it. And of course, these are going to drop all the way. These are going to drop all the way through, so they're not going to work. But I've got a remedy that I'm going to employ. I also got these mini Coke cans here. I had thought about going through with a 1-inch screw, but that won't catch the mini cans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these zip ties. I'm going to put 2 zip ties, 2 holes, one through the top, one through the bottom hole, and let them get made up on the outside. I'll show you as I get that going. Okay, so the next thing I gotta do is I wanna go 2 inches from the bottom for the hole for the zip ties. So I'll measure 2 inches, maybe a little bit less, maybe go 1 7/8. And I will use a step bit so that I can get, I'm gonna use a step bit right here so that I can get the exact width I need for the zip tie, which looks to me like it's gonna need to go to about the 3rd notch. One notch, 2 notches. Got a weak battery here. Okay, now here we go. We're going to put the zip ties in. We're going to take the first one, put it up, come out here, take the second one, feed it from the back with the zip tie end down. Take the zip ties and flip them in there. Pull them tight, and voila. I'll try the mini Coke can first. It sits in there fine. Of course, it rattles around a little bit, but it ought to be secure enough. Let's just see how secure the larger Coke can is. Got my Atlanta Braves 1991 National League Champions Cup. It sits in there fine. I'll take the off-brand Yeti a while ago that I had a little trouble with. It now sits in there fine without going down around those screws. Next thing I'll do is I will tape some stuff off, and I'm going to paint these things black. Well, before I tape them off, I'm going to cut off the excess of the zip ties on the outside. I never like to see a bunch of zip tie tails hanging out anywhere. This gets you a little better idea of what it actually looks like. See that zip tie comes through there and it tightens on up on there just beautifully. Goes in there, looks fine. That will keep the cuts from going through. Okay, the cup holders are on here. They're ready to be used. They're painted black to match the golf cart. And I think once again, we will be able to let the second rider, or rather the third rider in the back, enjoy riding with us with something to drink. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe to my videos after you take a look. Hope you have a great day.